In redefining everything I thought I knew, um, I studied that about relationship, you know, um, and and I went into treatment to resolve my relationship with my wife and my kids. I didn't go there to do this. I didn't even know if I really wanted to stop using or not. And what I discovered was that I was more addicted to the relationship than I was to substance. So as I started to redefine what relationship was, then I had to look at what was it that I really, what was it, my emotional reaction or my perception of that word, what was really within me. Well, if I redefine it now, what I defined as love before was sex. And what a relationship was really, and what I defined as a loving relationship, was actually overt toxic codependency. It was just another form of addiction. And I was habituating the same thing that I'd left in my home by bringing it into this new relationship and calling it different because it wasn't, the rage wasn't involved, the screaming, the blood, the fighting, and all that kind of stuff wasn't there. So we were doing it better. But a lot of it was suppressed. And it was covert, you know. So what I realized is that it was like two half people coming together to try to make a whole person. And that's not healthy, that's not sick. That is sick, in my opinion. So what I discovered is that a healthy relationship is based on two separate, powerful spiritual entities overlapping their spirit, being two separate souls. And I never experienced that before. I've never saw that before. My whole family background was based in enmeshment and self-identification with a role that I played as the youngest, or someone who played the oldest, and whatever term that came to define what your role was in the family. You know, Bradshaw talked a lot about that back in the day. You know, the role of the dysfunctional family. So redefining what love was is totally different. I thought I came from a loving, supportive family, and again, this is just my perception. Well, the first word I looked up, the second one was addict, was sarcasm. And so what I realized is that we were just, and it's ripping of the flesh, the first definition. Ripping of the flesh is the definition. The one definition I saw in the book a long time ago was like a dog, you know, or tearing or ripping. And so my perception was that we were funny and that we were having fun, and really what we were doing was just ripping each other apart. And even though we did that in the relationship, the marriage that I was in, there was a lot of that, but it was very covert. It was a real subtle type of sarcasm, you know, but it was cutting. And, you know, don't make a mistake because you'll pound on it, you know, you'll get pounded for it, you know. So to redefine a relationship, it goes back to love. I mean, self-love. I can't give away something I don't have. And I can't teach something I don't know. So that's my journey, is to learn what that is. And I don't all the time know what that is. Most of the time I don't know what that is. But I'm just dedicated to the journey there. To have a healthy relationship is based on respect. You know, it's based on honoring where the other person is. That's hard. I still use relationship as substance. And if this person would do this and do that and do this, then I'd be better. That's using. In the relationship I'm in now, years ago, I went over and I said, I need to apologize. She goes, for what? I said, well, I realized that, you know, I had expectations that if you acted, behaved, said, believed a certain way, then I would be okay. And that's a substance. And I'm going to do everything I can in my power to do that anymore. Well, I've been somewhat successful at that, and but you know, now I realize by recreating what you're familiar with, which is based in family, familiar family, is that my addiction to the relationship was based on creating trauma and drama within myself, because that's what I'm used to. So it's not looking at the other person to blame. That's what's so frustrating about this, is there's nobody to blame for this. I wish it would be easier to blame somebody for my ex-wife or my kids or society or the white culture or government or whatever. I am a co-creator, and I'm responsible for what I've created, and I'm responsible for redefining and co-creating something totally different than what I created before. So the whole concept of love and relationship has changed. And again, it's a work in progress. I'm getting better with it, but it's uncomfortable because my relationship with myself to relationship is based on discomfort. Recreating discomfort all the time, wishing that they were different so that I would be different, rather than allowing the respect for that person to do whatever they're got to do to be whoever they're going to be, and allow that with respect. That's tough. Especially when we grow up, and I say this all the time, we're marketed to not have these type of relationships. I mean, if you look at what's on television, it's all this crap that's based on screwed up relationships. And that's what people are growing up to think that's what relationships are about. You can make money by having screwed up relationships. It's just really amazing what they market. And they also market, and that's another subject all in of itself, they market products to make you well. Well, if you weren't sick to begin with, you don't have nothing to take to make you well, So what was the question? I'm redefining relationship. I'm redefining love. I'm redefining respect. And the bottom line is that I'm responsible and I'm accountable for what I create. And I cannot give something I don't have. So it's about respecting myself. I grew up in a relationship with my family that was based in fear. It wasn't about being lonely. It was about being abandoned. And I'm scared to be abandoned. And I would pay to go get some more drugs, or let's go get some more alcohol, or don't leave me. That's what that was about. It wasn't about partying or having a good time. It was about not wanting to be abandoned. And the reality is I was totally and completely always abandoning myself. And now I'm working towards not doing that. And in order to not do that, I want to share this. I want to share this with the world. That's my part of self-love, is to give this to a percentage of people that are going to get it and realize they're not broken, they're not defective, they're not flawed, but maybe their belief system is, their behavior is supporting that belief system. They've created emotional attachment based to that, and an identity that no longer serves them. And they're totally and completely capable of change.